Duggan, as a leader of the club, how disappointed are you in those 7 players?
It is disappointing, obviously. A pretty big error in judgment, but I think we've dealt with it as a club and publicly. It's been a bit all over the place, so those boys will cop their punishments, but we've got to move on now, and obviously we're disappointed, but they're still our mates and our teammates, and we need the best out of them each week. So we continue to grow. Those boys will learn from it, and I'm sure they won't be making those mistakes again.
Do you think there was a confusion as to what the rules were or are, or was it, I guess, a lack of respect for what those rules are? Where does it sort of sit there?
I think, as I said, the error in judgment was obviously quite a big one, and the club do have guidelines, and obviously staying away from those high density areas are a part of those. As I said, the boys have obviously misread those cues, and they've they've wore it for what they've done. So it's whatever their process was, it was probably the wrong one. But as I said, they're going to learn from that, and if it's not made again, then we move on.
Have any of the boys addressed the playing group, or have they spoken to you and to express their remorse?
Individually, certainly the boys have. Yeah, they're pretty embarrassed, and obviously they're sorry for what they've done. So they haven't needed to speak to us in front. Obviously, we were in Brisbane when a lot of it was coming out, and there were some boys with us. There were some boys obviously in protocol. So as the boys come back into the club now, and it's about what they do from now on, and earning the respect and trust again. And I'm sure they'll do that no problems.
There's debate as to whether the players should have been fined. What's your opinion on that?
That's purely a club thing for me, mate. Yeah, we've got a job, and that's to play footy at the moment, and we're really trying to focus on that as a leadership group. So the club dealt with all that side of thing, and not really my place to speak, mate.
And do you guys know a list of places where you can go and can't go? Is that clear now?
There's not a list. We're not sort of trying to live in that space. It's more just about being smart around the decisions, and those boys probably, as I said, misread that one. But there's certainly not a hard and fast rule, but it's just using your common sense around that space.
You got Melbourne this week. How do you prepare for that, even with the current state of the team?
Yeah, it's another big challenge. They don't get any easier. So the D's coming over. We still go into every game with the mindset that we can win and we can challenge. And I think we made some good inroads against Brisbane, albeit it was probably for 3.5 quarters, and we sort of faded away, or 2.5, I should say. But certainly some positives out of the weekend that we'll use to continue to grow. But we'll need another big effort. But we're continuing to learn, and we're growing as a team. So we're all in it together. There's no one to blame for all of this stuff. We're just trying to get better as a footy team.
One of those positives from Brisbane was, I guess, Jake Florence. He looked really comfortable at the level. What did you like about his game?
Oh, he was just up for the contest. He was ready to get his hands dirty, and for Jake, we met him the day that we flew out. So it's still bizarre circumstances that we're meeting some of these boys, but I think I've been really impressed with all of the boys that have even travelled and haven't played. Their willingness just to buy into what we're doing. It's pretty impressive. So I was pretty happy with Jake. I haven't had any contact with him since. It's sort of how it works, but it's he was good to have around, and I thought he played a pretty good game.
What's it like out there when these games are getting away from you? And is there anything you can do to sort of, I guess, stop the rot?
Yeah, it's been a little bit tough. It's probably been an issue for us, towards the back end of last year as well, was big momentum shifts and just not being able to hold that momentum. So we'll continue to work. We're going really hard on educating our game sense, our game knowledge, especially for some of our younger blokes who are being exposed now at the level. We're trying to bring them up to speed really quickly. So I think it's actually enjoyable to learn. We sort of started to play a new style. We've got some new coaches in, so we're continuing to learn a new brand, and certainly to shift momentum back in our favour is one that we need to focus in on pretty quick.
What's it been like having the coach in protocols? How's he sort of kept in touch?
Yeah, well, it's quite hard going to Brisbane and him being stuck here, but it was an opportunity for Nida to get involved, and I'm not sure how the contact worked between Simo and Nida while we're over there, but yeah, certainly at the start of this week, Simo's back involved on Zoom and pretty accessible via all that now, so there's been enough contact with him, and he's been part of our reviews and stuff like that, but Nida's been able to lead the charge for the last sort of 5 days, which has been enjoyable under him as well.
How did he go on game day?
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, he's obviously got great experience. He's a head coach before, and been a very good assistant coach at Geelong for a long time now as well. So when he speaks, the boys are listening, and the midfielders have got a really good coach in Nida, so we're pretty happy to have him on board.
We heard that, Elliot. You guys have been the latest player to enter protocols. How much are you feeling for him? He's had such a tough season so far.
He has had a pretty average run, yeah. It's been a tough couple of years for Yowie, really, with his groins and stuff like that. So the challenges, they do keep coming, especially for some players individually. So, yeah, we feel for him, but just something that we've all had to deal with across this year, and we'll probably continue to deal with.
Yeah, and what's the latest on the COVID front in terms of how many players are out for this week?
Actually, I'm really unsure, mate. Same with the injuries, not really across it all at the moment. There's it's pretty fluid for us at the moment. So I think there'll be an update on injuries later on today via the club. But I'm not really all over it. Sorry, mate.
How's now you've been going, obviously you've had a really impacted start to your year. Are you 100%?
Yeah, I'm nearing it for sure. Yeah, I sort of the knee's holding up, which has been great. Obviously, building your fitness and not having a pre-season hurts a little bit in the early parts of the year, but I'm starting to feel a little bit fitter and more, I suppose, game fit. So continue to build on that. I'd love it to come in with some form as well, and as a team to start to win, and I think we'll all start feeling better when that happens. But it's holding up pretty well from my end. So. I'm pretty happy at the moment.
Melbourne now have their own relationship with Optus Stadium after the grand final. Are you keen to, I guess, remind them whose home ground it is, or is there an added expectation for the club on top of Melbourne's relationship with Optus? Yeah,
it's obviously, they'd have some pretty fond memories now of Optus, so it's, for us, we've got them as well though, and it is our home, like you say, and we want it to be our sort of powerhouse. We've got our fans there, and we've played really good footy there in the past. So, I think like I said, it's another massive challenge for us. They're the best team in the competition at the moment, and I think if we continue to bring what we brought in the first part of last week's game, we should hold ourselves in pretty good stead to challenge, and we'll obviously look at Melbourne later on in the week. But it's another great challenge for a group that have probably got their backs against the wall a little bit, and getting some young blokes some exposure, and I'm pretty excited each week to see what we can do, because there's young boys stepping up each and every week, and it's pretty exciting for me, who's still young enough but seen a few boys come and go now. So it's exciting to see where the future's going as well.
Willie Rioli's obviously injured at the moment. I think he's allowed to go back home and visit some family in the NT. Do you sort of welcome that it's a nice opportunity for someone to be able to take that time away? Yeah,
I'm not actually sure of exactly where Willie's at the moment, but if that's the case, then I think if it's an injury that's going to spend some time out, obviously his family's in Darwin, and we're a family club, and that's really important to us as well, that boys are able to reach out to their families when in need. So I'm not actually sure what the full go is there, but if that's the case, then I think that's really good. If that's what Willie needs, then I think that's a good thing for him.
How disheartening is it, I guess, to lose by those margins last month? Plus, it just seems every week more, now Rioli, Yo. Is it disheartening, frustrating? I mean, how does it feel in the playing group?
Yeah, there's obviously a lack of reward at the moment, I think, is probably the way to sum it up with all of that going on. But I think that's where in our games now we've got to look for those little wins, and I think on the weekend clearance contest now pressure was a win for us, so we can build around that. But certainly there is a lack of reward at the moment, but the boys have been really positive the whole way through, and I think that's a credit to our coaching staff and our players and the club as a whole, because it's been a pretty dire month for us in terms of losses, but the positivity and the mindset that we've got going into games is, I think, speaking volumes of how we're actually travelling inside. So we're waiting our turn. We're trying to put our best foot forward to get these wins on, I suppose, or win against a side, but the little wins involved in games are what we're chasing as well at the moment, and that'll keep us competitive.
Do you almost go into this weekend with a nothing to lose mindset, given no one this season has been able to dethrone the reigning premiers? That there's almost no expectations on you guys to be able to do something that no one has been able to this season?
Yeah, I think we've probably gotten used to that over the last, this year really. We've been the underdogs in most games we've gone into, so there's something nice about being an underdog. There's no doubt about that. But as I say, internally we're going confident that we're gonna match these best teams. So although I do like being the underdog a little bit. I think that's maybe a defender's trait, but it's certainly a massive challenge for us to beat the D's, but I'm confident that we can do it.
And what are the little wins that you're looking for this week?
Again, it'll be to match it in the contest. I think that's the source of football at the moment. If you win in the contest, you're putting yourself in a position to win AFL games. So that'll be another one for us. Obviously, our inside 50s have been something that we've been trying to improve as well. So I think we probably lacked a little bit of polish on the outside last week, and I think if we can get a few more inside 50s and give our forwards more of a chance to kick a score, then that would be another big win for us in the coming weeks.
Is it big news for you guys to hear that Max Gore might be sidelined for the game?
It's not big news. We're pretty used to boys coming in and out of sides at the moment. So, obviously there's clubs are dealing with protocols as well themselves, injuries. It's not just us going through it. So, he's a pretty good player. So it's one bloke that you wouldn't mind missing out. But, I haven't seen too much about it, mate, so I'm not sure. I have heard the whispers, but if he comes, great, bring on the challenge. But if not, we'll still be trying to win it out of the middle.
And your own ruck stocks are decimated at the moment. Obviously, Stranardica's in COVID protocols, and Bailey Williams is still nursing a hamstring strain. When you look at someone like Luke Jackson, who's just dominated the competition over the last few years, does that excite you that you can test these young guys against someone like him? Yeah,
I'm really excited by that. It's another opportunity for our young fellas, and I think Callum Jamison on the weekend, the effort that he put in and his willingness to get dirty in the contest and match it with two pretty good ruckmen at Brisbane, I thought he was really impressive. So he was one of the shining lights out of the weekend from our point of view. So if he gets another crack this week, I think it'd be great for him. He's a young bloke, he's full of beans, and another opportunity for him doing a world of good.